Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Let me just give myself a second and get on here as well for my computer. There we go. Celebrate them. There we go. So, hi, thank you for joining me. This is A Touch of Tarot. My name is Genevieve, if you don't know. I'm just giggling a little because I got these new cards. Hi, Monica. Um, and I just got a text from my person, and I'm also overlooking these cards that came out. And I mean, the storyline is phenomenal, but there are like little I don't know what you want to call them, cue cards that go with this because there's so many messages on these cards that I am gonna be looking at the cue cards. But it's funny because there's just so many messages coming out, and after I checked my message, and all I heard in my head is like, I don't know what the fuck that means. So I'm like, I just started laughing. I'm like, what is that voice coming from? Is it about the cards? Is it about the message I got? And the nice thing is I laughed it off. So regardless, it doesn't matter. I'm still happy. I'm good. Not that anything was bad about it, but sometimes you just gotta say like, I don't know what the heck, I don't know what the F, and I'm just gonna move on with my day and see what comes my way. And I'm seeing 133333 right now, so perfect. So let's get into these cards. These are real, like, I don't even know how to describe these cards. I'm gonna show you the first one that came out. I have been on this search now for real authentic. These are from Japan, I believe. From 1991 as well, published in 1991 from Japan. I don't know what to say about them except they're crazy. And the interesting thing, actually, this came out again today, but this was the first card I pulled from this deck. And it came out here now, but yesterday I got this deck and I was going through it, and this is the first card that came out, and I thought it was the death card, and it's not the death card, but today the death card came out, the ending card. It's really weird because there's different categories like adversary, ego, source, death, and rebirth. But I didn't realize this is the originating, I think is how you actually pronounce it, the origin, okay, card, and the death card right next to it. So let's begin and let's focus on one for now because there's a lot of info in just one card alone, okay? So I'm going to hold this up and I'm going to read a bit about what it says, and then I'm going to put the story together after. It's real amazing, actually. So my favorite sentence about this card is that origins do not come out of nothingness, but from what once has collapsed. Each day is new if we allow it to be that. What was no longer is. The opposite must be united. The opposite must be united in the present moment. We seek the source by focusing, by a focus greater than ourselves. We can unite. Contraries within and without. So contraries within and without can unite by a source greater than ourselves. The right choice at the right time can start a whole new adventure. Is your passion stronger than your resistance? Are you ready? Your task is to take time to focus on the issue. What is the source of meaning in your life, and what is your commitment to it? Okay, so let's move on to the next before I get into, I don't know how, there's so much messages coming through here. First of all, I'm going to get into it just from what I'm picking up, okay, with these two cards alone. This is about something rising from the ashes. And what that is saying, like, as it says, origins do not come out of nothingness, but what has collapsed. It's like the lessons learned from the past, what has died in the past is where this new beginning will come from, okay? It's important to be focused. Now, I'm asking about the divine masculine here. And to be honest, when I was reading it, I'm like, this can go both ways. It is about letting go. But here there's actually imagery of almost a family saying goodbye to someone. So yeah, someone can be dealing with a death today, but I feel that more importantly, it's a day of truly realizing, there's someone on a cross here. You have to get off of that. It's like, hung on the cross, drowning in the water, falling through the cracks, on the bed of the hospital bed, coffin, people standing around. So this is like almost an event that people are all going to know about. And this is something that your masculine, or your special person, I should say, has to prepare for, in a sense. Like, this is not just a one person event of himself only, to be honest. Deep inside, yes, he's letting go of himself, but this is something that affects many other people a lot, okay? I'm seeing children, I'm seeing adults, I'm seeing doctors, I'm seeing everything here. I'm seeing a hobo. There's even a hobo. You may be getting communication. You may be getting a letter. This may have happened because in this first image, we have two people talking, two people communicating. We have this letter here. Now, let me get into a little bit about the other images we have. The camera captures the image of reality. That's important. Take time daily to reflect on what is happening so you can choose what needs to happen. These cards have this very strong energy of creating your destiny, in a sense, by taking action. That's what these cards talk about quite a bit. Even with the tarot reading here, it talks about you being able to take your destiny in your own hands. You don't have to listen to what the cards say. Like, you have a part in it. And it is very important to realize that for you watching this. I always tell you, you can create what you want. Even if the tarot reading comes out not how you want it to be, take that information and sweep it under the rug if that's how it has to be, and motivate yourself to create what you want. So the sun rises at sea, illuminating the waves. That's also in this card. Optimism is the commitment to focus on what's new. Now that's interesting. Balance what could go wrong with commitment to what can go well. Balance what can go wrong. So if there's issues, this person is worried about, or you even, it's important to commit yourself to knowing the sun does rise again, the sun, and it's rising over the harvest. People can get out of dire situations. And we actually have 3 suns in these cards. One rising over the water, one rising over this Egyptian pyramid here, and one rising over the harvest, which is interesting. Telephones, a couple communicating. It is not what you express, but the changes caused by what you express. Take a good look at how you communicate to people. This message is very going both ways. So I'm going to tell you the message, but honestly, this is a message for all of us. It's not what is expressed, but how, and the changes that are caused by what you express. And you can communicate in a way that you can create changes. So keep that in mind, okay? The hobo bringing a package. Here's a hobo bringing a package. You can find new life in what you tend to reject. This one I love, because I read this one really good yesterday, right? Because I had it pulled up, the first card. So listen to that. Find within your negative reactions the seeds of change. So you can find new life in what you tend to reject. This is a realization that the masculine is going to be coming to. I mean, this is today's energy I'm pulling for, but it's not going to all happen in one day. I don't know. But the point being, what he once rejected is going to literally be the same seeds he's planting or has planted by rejecting it. And it's going to come back and bite him in the ass because it's actually going to be a positive. You can reject things all day long and they always come back. And it's not a bad thing, but it's just that you can't push things away and expect them to literally disappear. It just doesn't happen because you're thinking about pushing it away. Therefore, all the universe hears is, oh, okay, I'll just bring that to you more and more. So the sun shines brightly on the field of grains. The independent are dependent where it counts. I love this card. I remember now reading this. So everyone in one way or another is dependent on something. And like it's saying here, even the harvest is dependent on the sun. So remember, there's help in everything around you. It's so true. And that, I don't know why it's bringing me back to the hobo. I'm always very sensitive about like homeless people and all that stuff, because that could be any one of us. If we chose to give up, if we chose not to follow our truth, like, I don't know, maybe they're following their truth. Maybe that's what they're guided to do. But I always just, look at people in those positions and think, that could be anyone. So don't hate on them. We don't know why they're there. But there is like, the seed of change is in what you fear. Okay. So looking into that is where you can find what you fear and what you need to release, or what your triggers are, when you get scared about change. Okay. So the eye at the top, the eye is wide open to what is. Consciousness is the origin of all things, both mysterious and true. Open your eyes to what is real. And that is one really important factor that the masculine is going to be realizing, is that he needs to see this. There's a situation here that is over. There is a path to take. It's not the easiest. It's a little bit of a climb here, but it's worth it. If you stay focused, you will reap the rewards. Communicating is very important at this time, because it's more about the communication to create change. Okay? Here we go. Now, this is the ending card. And I'm reading them in the way they came out. I mean, I would love to put this one first, but this came first, so I leave it first. But I like this coming first because it's saying the reason new things happen are because old things fall away. So it came out the way it's meant to come out, right? So ending. The dead wait opposite the living for the newly departed. Interesting. The dead wait opposite the living for the newly departed. I see. So what this is saying is, what this is saying to me, there is dead people here waiting opposite the living people here for the newly departed. There is an ending that's going to be happening, but there's also, it's not that there's help for it. It's like, this is a part of life. There are endings, and look, ending is irreversible change. A true end is never a beginning. Okay, so a true end is never a beginning when you really look at it like that, because the true death of this romance or this situation that this person was in, it's not going to be coming back, to be honest. I love that sentence there. It's not going to be coming back, especially not in the old way. It may come back because there's a child involved in the sense, so they have to stay in communication. This situation that's over, but it's over, okay? And accept the inevitable. Give up your ties to the past. In ending, not even memory can serve as a guide. That's interesting, because sometimes when something is done, you just have to let it go. But the masculine, collective masculine energy has had a lot of trouble of letting things go. Let go of what was and never again can be. And that is the truth. That's not just for the masculine, that's for everyone. Think about it. It's like, sorry, I'm getting caught up. I'm seeing these things here. There we go. Okay, there. Sorry, I'm just seeing, okay. Sorry, let me get back in tune here. Let go of what was and never can be. What was the message there? Sorry, I got caught. That's why I need to turn off the comments, I think. Let go of what was and what never. Sorry, I need to reconnect. Let go of what was and never again can be. That's where I got caught there. So that's the truth here, is that it will, okay, so what I was saying is that it's not just for the masculine, it's for the feminine too. We all need to let go of what was and truly let it go, because it will never come back the same way again. And I think that that's an issue a lot of people have, including, like, I've had that issue myself. Now I'm just more aware of it, where You're caught on these thoughts of the memories, and it tells you not even memories can serve as a guide because it's over. It's the past. And moving forward, you have to look for new, not like, you want your masculine, okay, I get it, but don't live off of the memories from the past. You need to accept what the new person will be that will be in your life, and allow that as a new, okay? Only, okay, let's see what this is. Redemption is in the present moment. Interesting. Only there do we have the choice to live differently. The life that departed have, the life the departed have is in how we live their essence. What? Sorry, guys. The life the departed have. Oh, okay, I see. The life that the departed have is in how we live their essence. Face finality. Your turn will also come to be no more. And yeah, that's the truth. No one lives forever. Not yet. And would you really want to? To be honest, like, I love this life and this journey, but I'm excited to find out what more is out there. I'm trying not to live for that, but, I want to see what else there is. Your task is to let go of wanting someone to stay alive. So that was an important sentence. And for the masculine, for some of them, like what I pick up, they're living in the past memories of when they first met this person and they had all these hopes and dreams and they were determined to make it work and they thought for sure this is going to be the one. It wasn't. It's not. It's time to let go. And you can remember that positive energy that there once was if you want to, but it's not there anymore. That's why it's saying the memories cannot serve as a guide. If he was to just live in memory lane, he would just be sticking there forever. And for some of them, that's why they've stuck there for so long, because they've been living in memory lane. They're like, oh, it will come back. Oh, look at interesting. I don't know if I showed this card yet. There's a lady on a pole there, right? But it's like she'll come back. If you see over there, she'll come back. She'll be good again. No, she's not. It's not coming back. Sorry. Let's read about some of these symbols. So the water, drowning, going under. The waves come in to overwhelm the seeker. Not everyone or everything is meant to make it in this life. Accept your losses, express your grief, and let it go. This is a true day. When I saw these two cards at first and then I pulled the two more, I already knew, like, we could have had the whole reading on this alone. This is a true day of realizations that it is time to let go. Like, this is, it's time to let go of this situation. It's time to figure out how to move forward and to drop it and let it go. The earthquake swallows her up. That's literally what it says. I'm not saying those words. The earthquake swallows her up. Loss is as inevitable as gain. Prepare yourself for endings and gain. Like, since we have that there. Autopsy. The corpse is disemboweled and studied. You learn not from the dead, but the living. Use endings to clear paths to new life. Use endings to clear paths to new life is just a beautiful sentence on its own. But I'm all morbid, so I'm caught up on the one before that. You learn not from the dead, but the living. I do believe you learned some stuff from the dead, to be honest with you, but it's important to let it go and inspire yourself to be more from what you learn, okay? Because, like, we look back at some of the great people that died and we definitely learned from them. But the truth is, what good is it if you're not going to take some use to it and move forward and do something with what you learn, right? Okay. The doors are barred to the seeker. Now, where's the door? Oh, see, that's him worrying himself. I mean, I feel like that's that. See down there, there's this door and there's two people standing there. That reminds me of the voodoo deck we had, and you see the person has to face the opposition. Like, everyone's against him. No one wants him to walk through that door. His own friends don't want him to walk through that door. Hun, no. Sorry, we have the doggy here. Okay, so for the ink. Oh, wait, let me go back to this door. Opportunities are always created through loss. Learn to quickly adjust to change through new openings. There will be a new opening. It's coming here. The ink is spilled on the paper. There are no accidents, only lessons to be learned. Treat every difficult situation as a potential sacrifice of old values. This deck is beautiful because it's all about letting go of the old. Sorry, got a clock, sister. Oh, no problem. Oh, wait, what is going on here? Who is that? Like, honestly, I don't know who you are, goddess something, but please, like, if you want to make an appointment with someone, start a channel. Sorry, I don't have time to watch the comments, but that's annoying. Anyhow, sorry, I can't even, like, can we please not use my spot for your guys' personal appointments with someone? Thank you. Now let me get into this so I can focus on my reading. Can I have a moderator here so I don't have to, let's see. Where is my moderators today? Hola. Sorry guys, if you want to click off and come back after, I just need to, I don't have time to look over here. I'm going to, here, this one. I'm just going to make someone a moderator and then I don't have to look for, oh, I can't even make a moderator right now. Sorry, it's on here. So anyhow, I'm the moderator. Okay, here we go. So, ink spills. Treat every difficult situation as a potential sacrifice of old values. That's what I was saying about this deck. The nice thing about this deck is it is about a lot about letting go of things and not holding. Like there was one card I pulled yesterday and it said something about like the fire burning or the house burning. And it said, don't be in a position where you can't let things go. Like learn to be able to let things go. And that's very true. Okay. Parenting. The husband leaves his wife. I'm so interested to read the comments. I'm really sorry, but thank you. I'm trying to read and do this and I just have to turn here. Okay, parenting. The husband leaves, oh shoot. Okay. The husband leaves his wife and child. Oh, I see here. It's not dead. It's not the death part. The husband leaves his wife and child. You know, I'm not trying to even like, you know, this is what has to happen for some people. And it's not that he leaves the wife and child, but he's leaving that situation. Some of them, he has to say goodbye. And, you know, for some people, they get kind of offended because no one wants a separation in a family. But if the family is unhappy and that means unhealthy, it's the best thing for that to happen. Like my dad left my mom, but to be honest, if he would have stayed there and, you know, it drove my mom crazy and like it wouldn't have been better. That's the bottom line. So thank God he left because I got to do my life in a different way than the average folks who stick together and torment each other. Gosh, you know, reality hurts less to those who accept it. That's about the husband leaving the wife and child. Choose to end things when their time is up. He's just leaving, you know, to go to work, but we take this in a bigger way for this message here for us, okay? She is nailed to her cross. She is nailed to her cross. I like that sentence right off the bat because it's like you're nailed to your own cross. I don't know. I just feel like no one put you there. But then when I say that, obviously someone had to nail you there. Well, maybe you were able to nail yourself. Crucifixion. Finality, sacrifice. The only cross you can ever bear is your own. Make your losses count as much as your gains. Vultures. The vultures eat from the corpse. The real endings are in the ones that precede death itself. End things when they end, not later. That's a major issue that the masculine was having here. Because, you know, this was brought up in the readings before. There was an opportunity to end things at the right time. And instead they hung on for a lot of them. And they actually created a bit more issues that have to be cleared. For example, they hung on to the karmic. Let's just say this: the person hung on to the karmic while they're entertaining you. And so now there's this whole, situation. What the right thing would be to do at that time, like, who am I to say right? But just exempt my words and, put them in your own way. But what the best thing to do, the most moral decision to do at that time would have been to tell the karmic, I am not interested anymore, or at least to even express, listen, I'm really interested in someone else. I have a really deep connection. I'd like to go and explore that, like something. But instead what they did is keep secrets, not move on, stay there. So imagine how the karmic's going to feel now when she finds out, for some of them, right, depending on how they handle the situation, when she finds out like all this time he's been interested in someone else, even though I'll let you know deep down inside they know it. You know when your person is no longer interested in you, or there's something missing there, right? Okay. So here we're on to the next card. So this totally has to do with fully letting go. These were the first two cards that came out today, and this was going to be the overall message until I saw these next two cards come out. Because I'm like, let's just see what would come out. And these two came out, one at a time, by the way. So we have, and these cards are not numbered normally. This is not a tarot deck. As you know, like I do have some pretty unique decks that are not tarot. So here we go. This card is about direction, and we will put that aside. So this is the interesting thing. I'm going to go first with what I picked up from this image, because after the ending, there's a bridge, and it's a golden bridge, And it's beautiful to see what it leads to. And I knew when I saw that, I'm like, this is what it leads to. So anyhow, direction. A bridge crosses a great chasm. I'm not sure what a chasm is. C-H-A-S-M, chasm. Guiding destiny and fulfilling. Direction is when we value somewhere or something greater than life itself. Direction is not simply choosing goals and fulfilling them. All goals deceive, whether one is climbing ambition ladder, nurturing a family against the vasucades of life, or campaigning a major cause for the people. While these need commitment, they do not transcend the specifics of life. The only commitment that gives ultimate purpose is flowing source energy to the end of your days, no matter where, flowing source energy, but following that flow, no matter where it leads you. That is important to remember, actually. That's kind of like Abraham Hicks type talk, where like I said, flowing source energy, but like following your source energy, following what feels good. Okay, so the first image we have here is the snake biting the hand. And for me, when I saw that, even though it does look like, who knows what that is, a man or woman hand, you can't really say. I felt like it was that the masculine at one point before has bit the feminine's hand in a way. Like, it's almost like biting the hand that feeds you type of energy, but it's not like feeds you, like that loves you. Let's look into this. The snake may bite the hand that holds it. Only the choosing are chosen. Only the chosen are choosing. Interesting. Seek the source of what challenges you. Okay. The door. The seeker pushes open the door in the wall. Clearing obstacles is the first step to finding purpose. Learn from everything which does not go your way until you no longer want only your way. Isn't that really good sentence? Learn from things that are not going your way. But why, this is the thing. Everyone's always like, and I get it. We are responsible for our own happiness. I get all this. But it is a collective energy now, and we're on a different level than the average people, that they need to learn to be responsible for their own happiness. But once you get to that level, for me, my beliefs, truly, I think it's important to take in other people's lives or hearts or minds or like emotions. I really do believe that we can help each other have happiness. I do think it's important to get to that level where you can do it on your own. Wow, thank you so much, ER. That's really, really kind. Thank you very much. And I love that number so much. I don't know if you know that, but that's a number I love. So I personally do feel that I get the whole, like, you're responsible for your own happiness. No one else. And when the bottom line is, no one else can truly make you happy. But I do think as a collective, and we're all here, especially here, like in these type of channels and doing these type of things, that we are somewhat responsible to like consider other people. So I really like this sentence that said, learn from everything which does not go your way until you no longer want only your way. You know, it's like dropping it and just being like, you know, it's true. It's not going exactly my way, but let's take everyone else's lives into matter here, and then maybe we'll find a solution type of energy, okay? So we have the suitcase here. I love the suitcase because the person is going to be packing their bags. And it's really interesting. The suitcase is right by the tarot cards. I found that very interesting. So a suitcase lies open on the bed. And I'll tell you this, for a lot of the masculines, like look at him at the door, he probably packed his bag a few times. And, you know, this is the energy coming in now where it's like the finale. There's a friggin' coffin here. Anyhow, a suitcase lies open on the bed. The true cost of the journey is to give up what you don't want to let go of. That is a big, big sentence. And thank you very much. You know, I'm just saying what the cards are saying, but I get it. It's a really big message messages I've been getting lately. Now listen to that one more time though, guys, because this is really, really important. The suitcase. So the true cost of the journey is to give up what you don't want to let go of. And when I read this, because I read over it once right before I started just to get a little grip on it, that's not just for the masculine, that's for every single person in the world. The true cost is to it's your fear. You don't want to let go of your person. You don't want to say goodbye to them because you're worried they're not going to come back. But that's where you learn the most lessons, by just letting it go and just seeing what happens. And like, it's not even about just seeing what happens. I do believe that some actions are needed to be taken, but the actions can be going within. You know, take those actions and just move away from everything else. Okay. Hold on tightly, then choose to give. Put that however you want it. It's not the exact way I would word it. Yeah, hold on tightly to things and then appreciate it. And if it's not serving you, let it go. That's how I would word that, okay? Gypsy, the cards, perspective and seeking. The gypsy lays out the cards for the groom. So for the man, I guess, right? That could be him. Is that what a groom is? Grown? No, it's not even an R. Gnome. Gone me. Okay. Fortunes are not in the cards, but in the choices of life. That is such a huge message. When I read that, I was like, I love that message, because the cards are good for guidance and, you know, to give you insight. But if you want to make a true difference, you got to make some choices, okay? So these cards are great for what they're great for. But I just love that sentence. It's in the choices, okay? That's where your fortune lies. I can tell you your masculine's going to come back tomorrow, you know, or this week or whatever. And then you go and you message him 20 million times or send him like 10 videos of mine or something. That is not necessary to do. And then you may possibly push him away further so he doesn't come next week, you know? It's really in the choices that you make and the thoughts you think, the choices and the thoughts you think as well. Okay, the staircase. Here we go. Did we even do the bridge? Yeah, the bridge. Yeah. I feel like the bridge is the most important part here, and it was the main part, but yeah. So the staircases. See over here, we have people walking up and down. Climbing. The seeker passes, another going down. So when I read that, the first message I heard is as above, so below. Like I said with the hobo, okay? We could all be there. And you know, trust me, this is not just me saying this. I have some very wealthy people in my life, and not that I hang out with them anymore, but you know, I remember one specifically. I'm sure I've talked about it with a few, but like I've actually, I know a few people have mentioned it to me where they just, you know, when you have a deep conversation with someone and they're like, they say it like that could be any one of us. And when you have a multimillionaire saying that, it really gets, you know, it really hits home because it really can be anyone. Um, I don't know where that, oh, because I said as above, so below. So just remember that, you know, everyone goes through these dark times, and even as the karmic, and this is two women, and it's almost like switching places here now that I look at that, right? Because trust me, where is the stairs? There they are. Trust me, like, and I'm sure you ladies know this, or you men know this, we've all been in someone else's shoes in one way or another. Okay? Let's see. If one has more than one direction in life, they tend to cancel each other out. That is huge because it's so true. It really is. It's just the same way with your manifestation. If you're positive, if you're like 50% positive and 50% negative, it's pretty much canceling itself out. Okay? Keep that in mind. You have to choose a direction and go for it. And that's what this masculine is realizing. Because that's what's been happening with all this up and down. It's like going nowhere. It's like moving at a turtle pace. Because one step forward, two step backwards, three step forward, four steps backwards. It's just like turtle pace stuff. It's time to choose one direction. For the moment, choose the most central direction. Central being centered. Okay, so the dog leads its master through the forest. To be led means to make another's direction our own. Interesting. Give up self-desire and control and be guided. Let's see, give up self-desire and control and be guided. To be led. To be led means to make another's direction your own. So this says leading and following. The dog leads the master through the forest. I see. Well, to be honest, when the dog is leading the master through the forest, to be honest, I trust that because they have a sense of awareness on another level. And it does say give up self-desire and control and be guided. And that goes down to inner guide, right? Like who has the most knowledge, your guides. You know, they're not blocking it out. They're trying to come to you and connect to you and lead you in the right direction, okay? This car, on the mountain a car climbs. To keep moving is not itself a direction, but a distraction. I love this one too. So the car's here on this huge mountain, and stop yourself long enough to choose where you are really going. That's interesting. And to be always moving, it's very true. It's not in a direction if you're always moving. It is a distraction. And a lot of the masculines actually do that. Constantly manifesting things, constantly making ideas, making plans, making businesses, starting new something, new. And that's a distraction. It truly is. When my life became more centered is when I've started probably 8 different businesses. I know 7 for sure, but I'm going to say probably 8. So my whole life, I was like, you know, if I saw something I could do better, I started a business, registered the name, started doing it, blah, 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 blah. Point being, when I got things together and calm is when I focused on two situations, making my skin cream and doing tarot. And they both have to do with healing. So when I chose to drop everything else, it was a little hard in the beginning. It wasn't a little hard. It was a lot hard in the beginning. But it brought so much peace of mind to me to just know I only have 2 things to truly focus on. I don't have to have all those other things. And I became very good at those 2 things. So stop yourself long enough to choose where you are going is a big one. Okay, so for the lightning in the background, up there, The journey combines what happens to us with what we do about it. Lightning strikes over the water. The journey combines what happens to us with what we do about it. Act more from inner knowing than anxiety. Huge deal. So this is like the transition out of this releasing energy, opening new doors, crossing that bridge, packing that suitcase, asking for forgiveness for the people that this masculine bit, you know, when they were reaching out to help or reaching out for whatever it may be, following the sun, following the light. So the most beautiful thing is the card that came after. Thank you. You're very welcome, Shelley. The card that came last, I should say. Because when I saw it, I just felt like it was, you know, what's at the end of the bridge once it's crossed. And it's this. It's a card of union. You know, I'm going to bring up something that happened to me recently, which has never happened to me. Where I'm from, there's a bridge that I've crossed probably over 200 times in my lifetime because I've lived here and I went to school right across the bridge. And yesterday during a walk, or 2 days ago during a walk, I went to go cross the bridge as I always do. It's a very high bridge. About 10 years ago, they put up bars so people don't commit suicide. And I couldn't cross it. And I tried multiple times. I stood there on the edge. Even thinking about it makes me very emotional because I have no idea why I couldn't cross the bridge all of a sudden. Like, I would go back, I would start meditating, because, you know, there's that couple meters before you're actually on the bridge. I'd put on YouTube, I'm like on my speakers, like people probably thought I was suicidal. And meanwhile, I'm just trying to get my legs to walk across the bridge. There's so many people walking across the bridge, and I was going to ask someone, like, can you walk with me? But I knew I either wasn't supposed to cross the bridge, but that doesn't make any sense because I did take a Uber right across the bridge. It's only like a 2-minute walk, but I had to get an Uber. But my legs would buckle every time, and that's never happened to me. And now when I see this, you know, and I was told, someone told me I'm picking up the divine masculine energy, and I'm meant to see how much anxiety and stress they have about crossing the bridge. And I'm going to go do it again, maybe today, maybe it's a rainy day, maybe that's a good day to do it. Maybe I won't see all the cars below, I don't know. But it's something to keep in mind that, like, for something I've done my whole life, recently now, for the first time, my legs wouldn't let me cross. And I would go back. It took me about 6 times to just give up and just call the Uber. So I'm just bringing that up because the message I got from the person I spoke to after was that is the level of intensity that the masculines are feeling about this type of shift that's happening. And if so, then that is crazy. I've never had an experience like that in my life. And I thought I've had a lot of experiences, but no, that one was weird. So after they finally get the guts to cross that bridge, and I need to do that too. I'm going to try and cross that bridge for all of us within the next 2 days because I'm not going to be in this area much longer. So I have 2 days to do it, to get over my fear. And I'll do it for all of us. We have to, like, I have to cross the bridge. I know it's like symbolic. So anyhow, after crossing the bridge, as I said, look what you're led to. Okay. The priestess calls forth the sacred marriage. Opposites blending, harmonizing. Look at this card. It's so beautiful. This is the union card, okay? Integration is the coming together of what is naturally separated and therefore needing unity. People on this journey, people in life, and never mind on the journey, are naturally separated from people that they are a good matched to, like they're supposed to be with, okay? Why? Because that's how you learn what you're made of. That's how you learn how much strength you have. That's how you see what you will put into being with this other person. And not everyone makes it. Okay? The ultimate relationships are a prayer asking, Oh, sorry. All intimate. Why did I say the ultimate? That's interesting. The ultimate relationship is with yourself and praying and connecting with your higher guides. Okay. So that's just a sentence that was meant to come out. All intimate relationships are a prayer asking that two become one. Why are we who are so opposite so attracted to each other? This is crazy. Until we achieve the beginnings of an inner marriage, we will be caught up in the outer forces of love, sex, and relationships to create the unity and integration we so desire. Wow. This is about an inner marriage. This is so powerful. You know, Usually when we see the Hierophant, they're talking about the priestess here, not the Hierophant. But the Hierophant for me is kind of the masculine version of the priestess in the deck. And for me, that represents almost like bullshit unity a lot of times, where people get together because they have to. And I'm not saying it's bullshit. Like, people get married at one point, they think it's the best decision in their life, and sometimes it turns out to be the worst. But this is talking about an inner marriage. And that's where this does or has begun. You guys were connected in your souls long before anything physical ever happened. And even if the first day you met this person, you were physical with them or something like that, you were connected in your souls long before, okay? Okay. Let's see. Your task is to be more out of extremes into more of a balanced, integrative point in your life. Secondary images, a couple uniting, exchanging, a couple dances in the moonlight. That is up at the top corner there. Look at that with the full moon. Beautiful. Dances in the moonlight. We need a beloved to affirm that we exist. Let's get into that in a second. Live yourself the energy you feel in this situation. Wow, okay, that's really interesting. I'm going to start with that. Live yourself the energy you feel in the situation. That's what they talk about when you're manifesting to be what you want to be. For example, I'm going to go have lunch today. Down the street, there's a restaurant. It's a rainy day. I haven't gone out for lunch since I've been here. And I wished that, I was going to be on a date going for lunch, but I don't even care. I'm going to go have my lunch because I'm really craving their bread there that they have. It's always the bread, right? And I don't care. I'm going to go do it. And that's I'm going to feel great about it. I'm going to do what makes me feel good. Last night, after I was done my readings, I would love to be sipping on a glass of wine with my person, but he wasn't here. So I went and got my favorite it's not even wine. I drink tequila rose. It's like the girl version of Bailey's. I guess Bailey's is a girl's drink. And I sipped on my little tequila rose and relaxed and went to bed. And it felt great. So live the life you want. Now, here it says we need a beloved to affirm that we exist. Okay, that sentence for me, it's off. But I will tell you the truth. Just the sentence is off. I get the vibe. I do feel like we should not be living life alone. I do feel that we should not be going through life alone, and that having someone in our life does give us more purpose or more desire to be here. Of course, whether it's a child, a man, a woman, whatever. That's what I'm saying from my point of view. And I'm a single lady, technically. I'm not very close to my family, as close as I'd like to be. Some members I am. But point being, I can say I truly see that it is better to have someone in your life that you truly care for, that's a healthy match for you, that's a healthy relationship. And I truly do believe that people thrive on that. And people live their best lives when they're in union with someone. From what I see and observe, being in union with the right person that loves you and you love is very healthy, and it's very beneficial for your life. And even when you see some women, I can see it. I read energy, right? So I see some women, but I don't know. Maybe they came from divorce. Maybe they came from whatever it may be. But you see it in their eyes and you see it in their face and their sadness. And it's almost even in some of their posture. I've always been very into body language and posture. And there's a missing piece. And to be honest, like, you can disagree with me. I don't care. It's okay. But having someone else by your side, even if they're not always with you, but knowing someone else cares for you, loves you, and like looks at you like you're the best, it gives you a different energy. And it is almost that missing piece that I'm talking about there. So the way they worded it, that you need a beloved to affirm that you exist, no. But having a beloved to live, the best existence, to help, you live your best existence, I do believe in that, for me. So offering, richness. A gift is offered with loving hands. We give away our most cherished qualities. Express yourself more freely. Okay, let's see what that is, the gift. Oh, the gift, okay. I don't know if that's what the fruit's about, but it is an offering. So there is fruits there. Okay. So, harpist. The harpist plays in a burnt out room. Oh, I see, down there. So the true test is when you combine the best and the worst. Include the dark side in as much that you do. And that is very important. You really... It really is important to just stay balanced and to just stay, I'm just doing this above, yin and yang, up and down, as above, so below. Include the dark side in much that you do, Just always remember there's another side to the coin, okay? Mating. The horse unite, bonding body and spirit. The longing for one, unlike ourselves, create a need to love. Reach out for what fate brings you. Isn't this interesting? The longing for one, unlike ourselves. It's true. Because as much as you will have in common with your person, there will be things you it's not things you definitely. You'll be able to harmonize it and balance it out easily because you're meant to be together. But I'll tell you, when I was younger, I remember dating this great guy. Well, not dating. We went on a date. But, in the city, he was very well known. He actually passed away recently. Very loved by many people. And so I went to his place, awesome place. He had all of these toys to play with and all of this stuff, like helicopters. Anyhow, point being, he was a Gemini and he reminded me so much of myself. I was so not into it because I'm like, I'm crazy enough. I cannot have another crazy person with me. So, that was our last time we ever went on a date. Like, I didn't lead him on in any way or anything. It was an enjoyable date because we got to play with all the cars and all the toys and all the stuff. But and I look back at that still to this day and I say to myself, like, did I hate myself? And no, I don't hate myself. I love myself. It's just, I'm a big handful and I want something different than me in a sense. Like, I want the balance. And fast forward now, I don't know, 10 years, 12 years later, it turns out like the balance came in things that I was always actually running from, interestingly enough. Everything I thought I didn't want in a man is in my masculine. And not only that, he's at a whole other level of calmness that even I can't deter him or distract him from. And it makes me calmer. And I love it. I actually really enjoy it because sometimes you need that balance. Like if I went my whole life being a Gemini and having another Gemini there really wouldn't be that calm part where I just have to relax and no one would be there to show me that. My masculine has never told me you have to relax or anything like that. He only leads by example. And that's a lesson for all of us. He only leads by example. And that's all he has to do. Just seeing the way he is makes me appreciate calmness and appreciate taking time and being more present, okay? And speaking the way he speaks is very just very, it's not that it's poetic, but it's just you learn from it because it's something to listen to. It's very interesting. So okay, harbor, the ship returns to safe haven, sorry. Being alone too much creates dependent love. Allow time in your day to bond. And that's what I'm talking about. To be honest, like, I do believe we need to be with people and around people. I really do. The rainforest. The rain falls in the rainforest. Yes. There is no balance without the wellness to blend. Practice listening to how others see their lives as different from your own. Practice listening to how others see their lives as different from your own. So listening to other people's lives, you know, that's something I'm practicing now in Ubers. I haven't been taking Uber too much, or anywhere. Let's just say the public transit. When someone talks, you know, I'm the type of person, I have a million things going on. I can push people off in a second because I have emails to do. I have phone calls to make. I need to schedule readings in. And it's like, I need to stop that. And the only reason I even put those things up there is because I don't want to talk sometimes, right? You know, to the Uber, to whoever. But when I I was going to say, like, shut myself up with that talk because it's rude, first of all. People sometimes, you know, they deserve to be heard in a sense. Like, you can change someone's day by listening to their 10-minute conversation in an Uber. Then why not do it? Why not make them, like, it's practice for yourself. Look at everything as practice for yourself as well. So that way, you know, you don't have to dwell on it. Like, it's practice for yourself to be in calmness and stillness and in a listening state. And it's helping someone else express themselves for the day. You actually could very possibly learn something from them. And that's what I find when I finally do, like, shush up and let the people talk and not be rude and not ignore them and engage in the conversation. That's the big part, because I can just sit there and be like, okay, yeah, and like hint to them, like, leave me alone. Or I can ask them questions like, oh wow, like, where do you come from? Or who did that? Or, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Like, interact with them. But listening to them and seeing, like, you know, other people have lives too, Jen, type of thing, okay? So faces, there are two faces. The two faces are close together. Oh, I see them up there in the corner. Are close together. Integration means uniting differences and enhancing similarities. That's the best way to put it. Develop humanity by nurturing similarities to another. That is the best way to put it, though, because it's so hard to explain how opposite me and my person are, but how well, there's no confrontation. It's like we blend very well. But we are very, very different, but the same. It's very hard, but you understand when you're in this situation. All of you understand that, what I'm trying to say. But it's like, you don't want someone that's exactly the same as you. I can't explain it, but he really is a lot like me and a lot not like me at the same time. So we have the birds, and the bird is at the very top, actually. It's a bird. Adaption. The bird flies under the waterfall. Oh, that's beautiful. We acknowledge differences by sometimes not seeking to harmonize them. Try doing the opposite to what you want to do. So this card is a lot about taking other people into consideration, right? And what they're, what's going on with them. That is interesting. Okay, let's get to some tarot. I'm going to get into some tarot. Oh my God, it's almost been an hour. But these cards are so interesting. I can't even deny it, okay? Now, which tarot deck will I use? I'm going to go with the traditional, so we can read that very easy, okay? Let's see what happens here. I'm curious on how much longer do we wait as divine feminine? Well, I don't know. I've already stopped waiting. Like, it's not about waiting anymore. If you're talking about like you want to go and date or something like that, you can do that if you want. Like, I'm not the leader of the whatever to say, yeah, you can do that. But I'm just saying, if that feels best to you, go ahead. If I ever met someone that, truly sparked my interest in that way, I would probably go on a date, and I'd probably lose that interest quite quickly, to be honest. Don't wait on anything, right? And because like you have to do what feels good for you. For me, it feels good to focus on myself now. I haven't met anyone. Like I see a handsome person. Okay, well, I saw a handsome person. That's nice. I've come to a spot where I realize like no one's perfect. Like, I don't know, if something's meant to be, it will be. In the sense, like, if you're meant to meet someone else, you will meet someone else and you will get those butterflies in your stomach. And trust me, the universe isn't going to have you waiting 10 years or anything like that. But when you ask that question, like, how long does the divine feminine wait for? It kind of, for me, it already tells me, like, you're not really in a spot to do much else right now. Like, don't be in that spot where you feel like, you've waited and waited. I don't know. I've gotten myself to a very happy spot, and I understand now about these lessons, and I just have a different understanding, and it's very recent. And the reason I did it, I got myself into this spot, is because like I can no longer keep on getting emotional depending on what my masculine does. It's not even about him. It's about me. And sometimes it kind of like it gets deep, because you're like, wow, like, okay, I'm just gonna step back and go have a drink by myself. I'm gonna go to the restaurant by myself, and I'm gonna enjoy it. And that's important, is to enjoy it. Okay, let me just shuffle these cards really good. So the part of the journey is all of that part of the waiting, and what did you do during that time. And I always say this is the best time for you to get your life together, when your masculine's not around, because trust me, when he's around, it's a very big distraction. Have I gone on dates? I haven't gone on an actual date. Let's plan it, da 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 da. I did bump into someone and go for a coffee, and you know why I did it? I did it just to go and interact with the people. And like with a person, like just to go and have that normal interaction. Was there any interest whatsoever? No, not at all. Did we exchange numbers? No, there was no need. That was in Paris, because I had saw someone over the balcony, and there was like an accident the night before, and I was telling him what happened, and he said, you want to grab a cafe? It's in the morning. I think it's a normal Parisian thing to do. And I'm like, sure, grab a cafe. But it was nice to get out and have a normal interaction with people. And especially with a man. I have dates all the time with my girlfriends, all the time. But it's really nice to just hang out with a man. And, I don't need them to be flattering me. I already know that they're interested, in a sense, with my, like, energetic field, like my like my goddessness, or whatever you want to say. Like I'm a female, and it's so interesting to them, and I'm just myself sitting there and just having a conversation, and I don't know, it feels good, right? It's not that it's, and it's not that it's never the same with your DM. It's never the same, I guess you could say that, right? But that wasn't anything to do with me going out for a coffee. It wasn't about like, oh, I want my DM. I don't even like compare him to any of that. I don't know how to explain it. It's very, and my DM is not like the God above all type of thing. Like, no freaking way. I'm no longer putting my DM on a pedestal like that. He has issues he's dealing with. He's a human like everyone else. And I just leave it at that. And I'm just living my life and learning about myself and going within and getting my life together. Because to be honest, one thing I'm learning is that, like, before I met my DM, I was in a very dark, depressed spot. I was coming out of it on my own, but like I had gone through a lot. in that last year, like homeless again, all of this shit that was happening, like all these different things happened. I had to get out of this situation I was in, and miracle after miracle happened. It all started with someone offering me their condo for the month because they moved out. They were moving out early. They were moving out on the 9th. I got the condo on the 10th of my birthday. And that got me out of the home I was in, which was really shitty spot to be for 8 months. It's where I started my YouTube channel because I was so isolated. I was so connected to the higher source, and the dreams I was having. I was told to do this and to start the channel. I always did tarot, but to start the channel. So it all happened for a reason. It's also when I got my business grant for my skincare line. It all was happening, but not much movement was happening. And then someone, offered me their condo. They moved out and I got to stay there, and I was back in the city. All of a sudden, things started coming together. I ended up leaving my false person, which I didn't even really know about twins until him. Because then I was looking at on YouTube, what the fuck is going on with this guy? This is crazy. And I learned about this twin stuff. And anyhow, not really caring about it that much. But I had the message that told me to leave that person. And literally, and it's not normal for me, but literally within a week later, I met my twin. And we just met randomly. And then I started bumping into him all of a sudden. So it was a very strange series of events that, I had to have faith. But even in my little bit of lack of faith, I always visioned I would be out of that place that I was in. And I always had visualizations. But even in my little lack of faith, because in a sense I had a lack of faith, you can't determine what the heavens will force on you. How did someone offer me an apartment on the lake shore, overlooking the lake, the most beautiful space for to live there? So what happened is they had a couch. That's the only thing that they didn't want was their couch that they were leaving, and they said $500. The couch was actually a $2,500 couch, and I never had a real couch. That was my first couch in my whole life. I always had futons, and I never cared about couches. I was very single. And someone, she said, you can have the place if you want the couch, $500, sure. And I stayed there and on the lakeshore for that month, and everything just started falling into place, especially after I met my masculine, physically met him. I was already moving forward, but all of a sudden, everything just started happening. Even my YouTube channel grew and all that type of stuff. And I don't know, it all just came together. So have faith, take action. Like I said, I was always, he needs a bite in the butt. I was always trying. Even when I was isolated on my own, I was still, I posted YouTube videos. I was going to the library every day. Sometimes I was reading on cards and trying to get even better. But most times I was building my business or my business plan to get my grant. And, I've actually ended up putting that business on hold right now because of all the legal matters involved with that. But it was all meant to happen. And because of that business and starting that business and seeing how to start a business, if there was no legalities involved, it would be a very successful business. But, there's a lot of issues right now with cannabis and CBD and all this stuff. So that got involved in it. But point being, because of that time that I was isolated, going to the library, going and getting a grant from the council of the city I was in, they were the ones that gave me a grant, not a school. It was actually the city hall. I learned how to build a business properly. I got to speak to people that make million plus on Amazon. And you guys can all do that too. You can go and look them up. There's lots of classes online. I actually took a few of the online ones as well to help you learn about Amazon and how all that fulfilled by Amazon and how all that happens, or how to start your own business. You can go and buy cheap things and you don't have to mark them up that much. I've never been someone to believe in marking it up 300%, but you can mark it up that's fair, in a way that's fair, and you can make a living off of in lots of different ways. Or go take a course and learn how to build a website, because I'll tell you, like, one thing that is needed is reliable website builders. And if you're not doing much and you have some spare time, offer your service and start off like low and let the word get out. And it's really easy to build a website, to be honest. And then you can actually start charging people. And there's a lot of different ways you can look at it. Like, one thing that's neat is people to build websites that are reliable, but that also teach the person how to use that website after, you know, things like that. Anyhow, let's get into a couple tarot. Just see what the message. I'm not taking 10 cards at a time. I'll just let you all know. Thank you, SH. I don't know what your name is, but thank you. It is like, you know, it's something I have to share, because other people need to know you can do it. You really can. And that's part of the reason, unfortunately and fortunately at the same time, I'm not very remorseful. And I should, like, you know, I have to be more connected with other people's feelings, because, you know, it's about everyone. But when people tell me they had a rough life, or they can't do it, or they don't have money, I can't even relate to it anymore, because I've been there and it was the hardest shit in my life, and I had to do what I had to do. And I still, one thing I learned, because over the stages, there was times I could get money very easily, but it wasn't with integrity. You know, I could ask someone for some money and get it the easy way, like, you know, whatever. Like, people would just give me money, to be honest. I had friends that would just give me money to help me, but that wasn't serving me. I had to make a conscious decision to not accept favors from people. And I had to get very broke for a bit. I literally said, I'm not going to accept these favors anymore, because it was holding me back. I didn't say it to the people. I said it to myself, and I stopped hanging around with the people, because it was like, I was there like, you know, oh Jen, like, oh Jen, we're going to help you, Jen. We're here for you, Jen. And really, they were like helping me buy my real estate license, or keep my real estate license running, which I had at the time. I didn't even want to be a realtor. I didn't even want to be in the office. So they were helping me do nothing, you know, and they had the best intentions, but they were helping me in all the wrong ways. And this is why I can tell, you know, a masculine person that has a codependent or a dependent, whatever you want to call it, anyone who has someone that's dependent on them, you are not serving them any favor by taking care of them. And that is the absolute truth. The best thing that I ever learned was how to take care of myself. And now, you know, it's so different being in a relationship when you take care of yourself. First of all, my masculine would never ask me to buy him anything. And there's no conversation like that whatsoever. But it's nice when, like, you know, I want to go out for dinner and my guy doesn't want to go out for dinner or something like that. And I'm like, okay, bye, see ya. I'm going out, you know, and it's not rude. It's not to be like show off or anything like that. But it feels so different. I'm so used to guys taking care of me and paying every bill. And not that I would be paying a bill, like as in like a dinner bill for me and my guy. No, I'm still not in that mood. Like, I don't do that, okay? I do have that energy. I like that exchange of the man being a man type of thing. But it just feels good to not, like, think in my head, like, oh, I wonder if I can get him to take me for dinner, or I wonder if I can get him to get me that outfit I want. It feels so liberating, and so it just feels good, okay? So it's just that's all it is. And it's different than what my whole life. And, you know, being the person I have been, I've always been, even no matter during how rough it's been, I've always been very blessed. And it's worked for me, but also worked against me for a bit, because I had to learn that, no, life isn't about everyone taking care of you. Okay, so let's just see what's going on here. So it's weird. I'm picking up these messages. I don't know how much they have to do with the cards, but the messages are coming out. And like the message that came out, I want to use a different deck. is that we have a masculine here working on leaving a situation, like, you know, figuring out a solution here on leaving a situation. I need to clarify this. There's going to be a loss, and that is a fear. That is, you know, if there's a lack of movement, it's the fear of the loss, the overture. It's the fear of going through that new door. But that's the whole, like, test here. Like, that's the, look at, we have the exam here. Like, that's the pass. If this person can just walk through that door without fear is an important message as well. You can't do it with fear. Without fear. That's the test. It's hard for this person to leave someone who has a lot of power over them. And that's what I'm picking up right now when I see this. I don't know, I'm not picking up a good energy from this Queen of Wands. I'm picking up a controlling energy, to be honest. And I'm noticing the black cat and the black horse here. And it's just telling me, like, it's very hard for this person to take that step away. Just like this cat can't really leave because there's a power there. There's some sort of a control there. This person, he's like, he's left, but he's not moving. Now, isn't that interesting, right? Like, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see. His back is facing her. You know, this is over, but he's not moving. We have someone that's really focused on being successful as well. And also concerning his image. Okay. But he has that ring here. And I always look at this ring as like a ring for the other person, for his divine partner, that he wants to put that on, but he's hanging on to it. He's hanging on to it as I say that. He's hanging on to that just for now. This is a day of release. So, you know, one way or another, he's going to have to release. So we have one queen under the other, and I like it. I'm going to say here, in between this success and reaching this person is what this guy's holding on to. And look what he's holding on to, because that's exactly what I was, okay, we're going to leave those all out and look at them. He's holding on to the heartache. It's not about the heartache. When I'm seeing this lately, it's not necessarily about a third party situation. It's the heartache of life. It's not just the heartache of cheating or not being, it's like everything. All the storms. We have the walking away. Look at, like, clearly, if only he could just do it, he gets to his 9 of Cups. If he could just walk away from what he's tied to. Wow, we have the 2 tied energies here. If he could just walk away. And until then, you know, we have the Star card in reverse and the Page of Cups in reverse. He can't offer anything. He can't offer that until he does walk away, until he gets over this heartache, until he turns that energy upside right. But seeing this card in the upright tells me it will turn around. Let's ask a when. Let's see if we can get a when answer. When to expect to see something. Who knows? Who knows when? 7 of Cups. Like, you know, you can put a date with the cups or whatever. Like, I have different days. But when it's a 7 of Cups, it's a who knows. This is indecision. This is no movement until a decision is made. And that's exactly what these cards are talking about. It's like, make an actual choice and move on it. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to end this reading. I thank you all so much for being here. Girls, what's the card going to be? 11-11. Oh, is it almost 11-11, huh? That's for me. To do that good. Only, well, I'm just looking at the comments. Thanks everyone for all the comments. I like them. But please don't come on my channel and make appointments with people. Like, I don't know what that girl was talking about with her email, but honestly, it's annoying, and I'll erase it in a second. And if I could have, I would have blocked forever. You know, start, you know, if you want to do that, go, I don't know. I don't know. I've never done that. I've never gone on someone else's channel and talked shit or started asking people to make appointments with me or to come to my channel or anything like that. It's just like, there's etiquette on here. And there are rules. I'm not saying you always should follow the rules, but sometimes, like, you know, why not? Okay, so anyone that did book readings, so anyone that's still waiting for readings, I do have, okay, Catherine, I did yours. Oh, I think I sent it out. I do have a few readings still booked. I'm going to have them finished within the next 48 hours because I want to leave here completed of my readings, and I'll be back in my other spot, and then I can get that energy, that new energy. And the interesting thing about this deck is, like, you have to put these cue cards back in order. So I put them all in order already. But this is a really amazing deck I found, and I'm happy to add it to my collection. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, please let me know what you thought about these cards. I know that I do have to get, obviously, more familiar with them. But as I said, I just got them yesterday. And yes, I could go on just reading the card alone, I'm sure, with all that imagery. Why do I keep on pulling out this damn card? Yesterday, I pulled this card out so many times. Anyways, it has the name Allison on it. If any of you know an Allison or maybe an Allison, happy birthday. It might be your birthday. This is a card about motherly energy as well. So... but yeah, as I was saying, like, I'm sure you could read these cards without reading all of the description. But I like to read the description, so, you know, that's how I learn more about them. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, much love and light to everyone here. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope your message didn't get... Hi, Sandra. Let the outcome go. Yeah, that's a very important point. Let the outcome go. Okay, guys. Have a really good day. I may be back on here. Oh, yeah, because I want to do the monthlies. So, interesting. I'm still going to do my monthlies as in, like, the karmic or something. But me and Sylvia are going to be doing monthlies together, which I think is great because I really enjoy reading with someone else. You get two perspectives. And for anyone interested in San Francisco, I keep on forgetting to mention it because people have booked spaces already to get readings, and I keep on forgetting to mention it, and I've only mentioned it a couple of times. If you are interested, send me an email so I can let you know what's available. And if you do, you know, get the reading or whatever, we're going to have a meet and greet as well. We're just trying to plan that all out, but I can definitely let you know when what's available still, if you want to send me a message. And I will be there from the 7th. I'll be arriving and leaving the 12th quite late. So, and I arrive quite early. So all in those days I can, well, in most of those days, I'm trying to book them up, not separate them. So let me know and talk to you soon. Bye, guys.